switch over to IRC so I can mention that. It looks like the game is up and has already started. We have a fairly early cap over there. So it looks like we have the capstone coming out there. Looks like Fwib will be joining us fairly soon here. Put that in. E6, eh? Well, I guess I could potentially make a thread going this way. Switch it back over to see what Taco is thinking. Okay, so B3, A4. And in the previous game, it looks like we had 11 reserves left for black. Then I believe it is around 14. I'd have to double check that. Okay, so white's threatening to put their cap on top of this, but black can also immediately respond with that. So white has a couple options here. First, ignore it. Second, put your cap on top of it.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Looks like we're joined by Fwib over here.
Hi. Can you hear me all right?
Yep. We are good.
Excellent.
I just picture you over there with that one Simpsons character wiggling your fingers like, excellent, excellent. Mr. Barnes wasn't. Anyway, I don't even watch the show. Seems like black's doing an awful lot of capturing early, though.
Hmm. Yeah, that's not usually a great idea, but I guess Python wants to conserve his stones as
Yeah,
tiebreak reasons.
fair.
Also, the fact that there are the stones he's captured are all controlled by the capstone means that the you're not taking on the same amount of risk as you would if it was just flats.
True.
Uh,
I'm not sure what c4 minus was over here. I think e4 would have been a better play.
yeah, I guess it was just Simmon didn't want Python to be able to spread his stack D4 stack
Yeah,
across those two and get a big flat advantage.
fair.
But that seemed a bit premature to me because if he had done that, something like a wall on C3 or C4 would have been able to threaten recapturing
Yeah,
those captives. So yeah, interesting start here. Simmons obviously trying to get something going along 2 and 3, but I think Python is caps obviously in a very strong position, so
yeah.
he can potentially be looking to parlay that into a threat along 4 and 5.
Yeah, the other fun thing to consider right here is that that's a hard cap under there, which means it has a little bit of extra range and can hit a wall pretty hard.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, a lot of
so,
captures.
yeah. That's surprising from Simmon. Yeah, and F3 is the obvious response. You don't want Simmon to be able to threaten too hard along the 3 rank, but at the moment, I mean, that's just quite a weak threat, especially with those captives in there.
Okay, so he's given up on that one and he's going for something else, I guess.
Yeah, so I think you're going to be looking at something like B5 or B6 here from Python, try and prevent Simmon from uh, getting too much going along the
Yeah.
B file there.
I almost like the F4 though because that does kind of cut nicely the E and F threat.
Yeah, it does shore things up on that side, and also gives Python a bit of a vertical threat.
Yeah.
Um,
It also
so
moves him over so he can make a horizontal threat as well here in a couple of turns.
yeah, yeah, I can see that.
Especially with that cap throw potential.
Yeah. So Sim and F1's kind of both getting in the way of that vertical threat, and also potentially looking to kind of shore up the horizontal. I think
Yeah.
Python has obviously got a lot of control down in uh, that corner of the board at the moment. So
Yeah, honestly, I'm liking Black's position a lot better right now.
yeah, I agree, particularly with again because of those captives that Simmons taken on. Yeesh, I'm really not keen on that capture. Just giving that square straight back to
Yeah, because you can have E2 over to the right, which
no.
immediately gives him a spare captive to play with.
Yeah, I guess the Simmon would then be looking to wall on F1 um, to kind of try and take that back. At which point, Python would maybe
Yeah.
chuck both of them across to the left.
You know what's weird to me is that Tactician is actually saying that Black is in a fairly bad position right now. I'm not sure if I actually
Well,
agree with it.
see, I mean, I'm loath to contradict Tactician, so
Oh, no, no,
maybe
no, no.
he's
We
seeing
contradict
something
on
that.
the sixes a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. It is definitely a lot weaker on sixes than it is on. So yeah, that's what I was expecting from Simmon. That's clearly what he's been trying to get going.
Yeah.
Um, so now, yeah, we take that there, and now what does Simmon do? That's the question. I guess wall on f2 or f4.
Yeah.
He definitely doesn't want to. I
Well,
don't think he wants to capture that with
here's the
f
fun thing is as
with
soon as he
e3.
does that, it can go over to the left and be a threat immediately. So
Yeah, if I don't particularly like that move though, because then
true, it puts white within range
the
of the cap.
the
Two
cap
white.
just takes it back and it gets two captives for
Yeah.
its. Uh, so I like walling on f2 here for Simmon, I think, and
Yeah.
then that forces Python to spread north.
Yep.
Hmm. But Python is still looking at a pretty big flat advantage then.
Yeah. I mean, how many are in that stack? Four. So it'd probably be what?
Um,
One, one, two. That might
well,
be a
no,
bit too much.
no, I think you just send three of actually. I think you just send three of them.
Yeah.
Go 3-1-2, or even just 3-3. Because if you go 3-1-2, then that puts your captive in a position where
It's
because
not gonna.
Simmon controls f5.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the key is to it all depends on what Simmon does here.
Yeah, I half wonder if he's gonna ignore it all and go for something in the BC area and try
That
and make that threat. That seems
I
dangerous, so
th-
I don't think he
yeah,
will.
I agree. I think that's too dangerous because then Pythoner can start really can go like e1 and really start threatening along the vertical.
Yeah. Well, either way, Simmons definitely using a lot more time this game.
Yeah, he's not looking at a much. Ooh, okay. So went
That's
for
pretty
that one.
dangerous.
So I expect to see a wall here from Pythoner again because
Yeah.
he doesn't want to allow uh, Simmon to just retake e3 with a flat.
Yeah.
I mean, you could. I think there's an argument to be made for putting the wall on f2 or
Yeah.
f4 uh, rather than e3. Um, it doesn't really matter as long as you threaten that stack.
Yeah. I'd be more tempted, honestly, just to put it on e3 for the wall. That way it blocks white from being able to either put a piece there or dump half the stack onto there and get away a little bit.
Yeah, what it does do is it allows Simmon to run with the whole stack in either direction, north or south.
Yeah.
And then you're also getting in the way of your own potential north-south road, which is why I
True.
think I like F probably F4 best,
True.
um, because that forces Sim to because if he chucks the top three onto E3, you just take F2, and then you're
Yeah.
in a pretty commanding position. And if he runs south, he's kind of isolated from the rest of it. That those stacks are kind of isolated from the rest of his stones, and you can. Okay, so he went for F2. See why I don't like that quite as much as he can chuck the stack north,
Yeah.
and then he's got that kind of citadel or
Yeah.
um, palace in the northeast.
Already going for the visual attack stuff there?
I feel like where there isn't an agreed. Oh, whoa!
What?
That was
What?
Okay.
Huh? Is he trying to prevent the?
So I guess what he's looking at is he's thinking, okay, if I do that, then when python goes f2 plus, Simmon is now able to crush with his cap.
Okay, yeah, I see what it
Because it's
is.
no longer that would no longer be giving Python a road.
Maybe, but that seems risky as heck.
Yeah, again, it's taking on more captive liability. I mean, if I'm Pythoner here, I think I like just um, well, I was going to say C5, um, but I guess Simmon's response to that. No, that's probably safer. Yeah, because Simmon's response to C5 would be E3.
Yeah.
Then you're forced to.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, so we're going after that bird then.
Yeah. So now you want to be doing probably B5 if you're. Well, your options are either to go B5 and start competing for influence in that corner, or you can just say, well, my cap is preventing any shenanigans along the B file,
Well,
and so
here's one fun thing: is if he ignores it for too long and lets most of that B file get built, and then he does something like, say, well, whatever happens, and he does A6 to the right. Notice that that D6 stack can throw over to the left and instantly end it. And I've seen
yeah,
that
yeah,
happen a few times.
yeah, it's definitely something that's easy to. I've been done by that on more than one occasion, and it is easy to miss. I was thinking the D4 stack to the left. Yeah, that's probably the safest move for Python to just
Yeah.
prevent any kind of. And also, Simmon was also potentially threatening along 5 and 6. Uh, so right, so Simmon's trying to keep up the pressure there. I like C5 here. Um,
Yeah.
it protects that you know, B5 stone. If Simmon goes with A5 to threaten attack, then you can do A6 down.
Well, what are we at here? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 14. So he has 3 stones left to play before it's at dead tie.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think it's still doable for Python, especially if you manage it gets a moment to. Okay, yeah. What I like doing here is just grab that F3 stack and start either that or you play A5 and start threatening immediately.
Yeah.
Um, I guess if he does take F3, then Simmons kind of forced to put a wall on F4.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just
Well, the problem is, as soon as he does something like A5 as well, he's going to put a standing stone right there on F4 as well. So
yeah,
effectively, that stack's got nowhere to go.
yeah. It's unlikely that Python will be able to, and that's the problem with the standing stone on E3.
Yeah.
Although that was prevented any prevented the white cap from getting control of that
Yeah.
square. Also meant that it's unlikely that Python would be able to kind of turn those captives into a flat advantage.
Yeah, true.
So Python did go for A5. So it's threatening attack.
Where did we get? Okay.
Simmon captures with B4 plus.
Yeah, I think Simmons trying to drain him of pieces right now.
Yeah, I mean that's a solid tactic. So I guess the question for interesting went for the rather than just flat on B.
C6, C6.
Okay, C6. I'd expect to see B4 plus here from pythoner. Um, okay, I went for.
Okay, so he's going to go and go for that.
See, the danger here is then Simmon can. Well, no, I think Simmon is forced to. Yeah, yeah. Wall on F5.
Yeah.
F4 even.
What I'm seeing happening is you probably see a flat on c4 from Simmon, and then you might see c6 minus, which would be game.
Yeah, if he gets the chance to do that, which is why I think. Well, so pythoner can obviously prevent that threat with b4 plus. Just goes for f5. Now, how close are we to game over on tie breaks now? This
Pythoner
must be
lays
nearly
one
it.
more flat and it's it.
Okay, so this is one more flat and it's a tie, or one more flat and he can't win.
It's currently a tie.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he realizes that too.
Yeah. Uh, so how does Simmon prevent? I mean, pythoner is looking. So pythoner can threaten attack with something like e4 plus. And then Simmon can do a bunch of capturing, but
Yeah, I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of capturing coming in as Pythoner tries to somehow bring this to a tie.
yeah.
The only problem
I,
is that I think Simmons already got the second tie break because he has substantially less pieces right now.
yeah, that might be.
Which is why he's been playing flats everywhere he can.
Yeah. Well, even so, it's in Python's interest to. Wait, no, this is an elimination match, isn't it? So it doesn't matter what
Yep.
Python scores. Oh well. Okay, so Python does threaten attack, although by in b5 plus instead of usually capturing up with e.
Okay, so we got the fairly sane move.
Yeah, and Simmon continuing to try and threaten his own attack.
Might end up seeing something along the lines of c4, which is tack because of e5.
Yep, that would be an option. And it is in Simmons' interest to keep playing Stones if he hasn't already got the second tiebreaker. Okay, so b4 is obviously threatening to capture b5 and
Yeah.
stop to Python's road. I think Python probably wants to capture c5 now with that wall stack,
Yeah.
but the problem is that eventually that wall is going to get
Yeah, too
kind
heavy.
of.
The problem is the second tiebreak's probably already done by now.
Yeah.
Because I think there are 14 or 13 left. Right now there are 12. Okay, so how heavy is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it has one more capture it can make. And actually, amusingly, I think even if he does b4 minus, no, never mind.
If I'm Simmon, I quite like e5 right,
Oh yeah, that would
just
basically
because that
be
completely shuts down this
threat.
east-west threat.
Yeah, that'd basically be game by that point. And we have b6.
I'm less keen on that just because if he does look to capture b5 when the wall sits on there, the second stone is redundant.
Yeah.
Won't be able to do anything.
Okay, so it's straight for the attack threat then.
Yeah, I mean, I think Python's only hope here is that Simmon makes some kind of massive blunder.
Yeah, which I seriously doubt is going to happen.
Yeah.
Because he still has that hard cap he can play into.
Okay, Simmon captures back onto e5. So this Python has just got enough reach to chuck his wall over onto e5 if he wants, rather than take a soft stack. But at that point, Simmon can do something like putting a wall on c5, and that's game over.
Okay,
Okay,
well, let's tie break then. I think he's
Python
giving up
is,
on it.
yeah, he's admitted defeat and just going for the win if he can get it.
Yeah.
So if you're Simmon, do you keep defending in the north, or do you start kind of setting out towards the south to try and make your own road?
If I were him, I would try to get as much of a victory as possible, just because he's probably going to want to go 12-0 into the next game, so he's guaranteed first.
Yeah, sure, if possible.
Because more than likely, the result of my game is going to be something like 6-6 or pretty close, and I'd be the next up in his bracket if that were the case, or Taberlin would be.
Yeah. Okay, so he does go south. That's I see. C2 is interesting. It's not immediately building towards a road, but it's just strengthening his presence in that.
Yeah, it might
southwest corner.
be building towards some type of flat victory as well because white
Yeah, I
has
reckon it's
blue.
currently 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 to Simmon and
6.
6 to Pythoner. Um,
Yeah, so he's got about plus 5, plus 4 right now.
yeah, but Simmons still got a lot more captives to free. Pythoner's got a lot more captives that he can potentially
Yeah,
free.
true enough.
Simmons worried about the flat game. He probably wants to do something like put wall on F2. Obviously, he can't right now because this is tack again.
Yeah.
But yeah, that F3 stack is still threatening to cause some problems.
Yeah.
Flat count. So Python is okay. Doesn't achieve a huge amount for Simmon because Python can just capture back from A6. Yeah. Simmon's going to be forced to 4 plus at some point because any other capture just gets immediately recaptured by Python. At which point, so yeah, if Simmon tries to take B6, it gets recaptured from either or B5 rather. Simmon can Python can recapture from C5 or A5. D5 gets recaptured
Yeah.
by D4 and goes F6 down. That gets recaptured by.
Simmons over in main chat. How many more flats do I need to play? I'm not gonna tell him that.
No,
Jeez.
yeah, he can work that out himself.
Yeah. Well, I might tell him afterwards, but not right now. I'm not.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he does
Interesting.
see that.
Now you just freed the monster stack, though. Well, freed. Very loose use of the word. How very British of you.
I'm an excellent tutter.
I'll go back to game chat.
Okay, so Python then
Six.
going to E5 minus. Problem with that is that it's not. Although he's got this group of 4, he's not immediately threatening tack. So Simmon can capture E5 and start hoovering up there, or he can just do a standing stone on F4, and again that completely shuts down the. Well, actually, no, that's not quite true because there is that hard cap to think about.
Yep.
but it's only got one wall smash that it can do. So
Yeah.
someone went for a6. Okay, I mean that makes sense. He's looking to uh, capture
A5. Yeah.
a5. If I was doing that, I probably would have used a wall, but I guess he's concerned about the overall flat count and trying to get the biggest victory he can.
Yeah. He's going for +6 if he can get it in a road. If not,
Hmm.
I'm debating if D6 is going to come into this because I've seen enough games end like that of something silly.
Well, it is possible. Yeah, Simmon saying in the chat that he wants the points to be first player. Okay, yeah, that's a4 from pythoner. Looking to protect 5, and Simmon just looks like he's completely given up on any sort of road and is looking to
Yep.
just get his flat victory. One interesting possibility Simmon might consider is moving his cap into a position where he can to crush that wall. But I
Yeah.
think that's probably a few too many moves away and too easy for Pythoner to
Yeah.
defend against. Okay, so this actually looks pretty good for Pythoner now because he, like I said, that group of 4, d4, d5, e4, and e5, is now invulnerable to this the wall on f5. I think Pythoner might actually have it here because, like, as we saw before, all the other spaces on his threat are protected.
Yep.
So I think we might well see Python manage to squeak a road out here.
Well, you also have F5 over there, which can throw itself to prevent a lot of
It
potential
can
moves.
throw itself to d5. That's true. Just doing that isn't going to.
No, just
Well,
hit that
I
wall,
guess
but as soon as he plays F5, he just does
f5.
F6 minus.
Yeah, so that does it does. Um, he is going to be able to
C4.
slow Python down enough.
C4,
Ooh,
C4, C4.
c4. Okay, so that's
Well,
hmm.
if I were Simmon, I would immediately play F5 just to.
Yeah, same. But that's. I'm really not keen on c6. It just doesn't really do anything. It's not. It's not threatening. It doesn't contribute to his own road. And oof. Right. That's.
Interesting.
So again, we're threat here. Simmons' only options are, well, Simmon can now throw his. No, he can't throw his cap up because he'd have to leave this Blackstone on d4. So he has to go either d6 minus or, well, he has to move one of these stones on the 6th rank
Yeah.
down or capture up with b4, and all of those, again, as before, are sort of protected.
Yeah.
So it's still looking pretty good for Python, I think. Let's see whether Simmon can pull pull out an escape. There might not be. I think that we might be looking at a situation in which the wall is going to be having to do too much moving. No, I don't think so, because c4 is now protecting. So let's think. Simmon goes b4 plus or b6 minus. Python can capture from a5 once.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't like that. That I think that's given the game away from Simmon. He needed to capture b5 first, because now Python has got two
Yep.
sets of stones he can capture back with. If he'd captured b5 first, he would have been able to buy himself at least a turn to potentially throw a wall down. But I think this is road to Tinue now.
Yeah, probably. Taco doesn't see it quite yet. It still thinks there's a way out.
Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's at least 6 or 7 plies away.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether Taco's
It's at 7
how
right
far
now.
ahead.
He's not seeing it. 2c3 plus 1
Well, like I said, there may be. So I'm looking b4 plus, 2a5 right, b6 minus 2c4 left, a6 minus a4 plus,
that was just
and
silly.
then anything
That was just
allows
silly.
c2c. Oh well, yeah, that achieves nothing, I guess.
Well, that was Tactician's Depth 7 move recommendation. I still think it's stupid, but why in the world a human would think of it is beyond me.
Trying to think what difference it could possibly. Yeah, I don't think it can. There's any way that makes any difference.
If anything, it's worse.
Yeah.
C4 plus A6 minus. Okay, so it's B6 minus.
Yeah, so you're looking at 2C, either 2 or 4C, C5 left. You'll probably want to go 2, spread out your stones, give yourself more options. But this is definitely
yeah. Well, either C5 or A5, either one doesn't really matter, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly. Because now A4 is obviously protecting A5.
Yeah. Well, we have someone flipping out over in the game chat.
I reckon we may well see the final move being Simmon throwing his wall up to capture that final stack in his.
Yeah, we'll see.
Suicidal move. I mean, it'll still, again, because he's got that captive underneath it. It's not going to save him, but that's the kind of thing that Simmon would do, end the game with control of that massive stack.
Yeah. Well, it's like if you're gonna lose, you should at least lose with some style, you know?
Yeah. Yep, so there we go. B4 plus, then capturing that from either, and then Simmon's final move, what's he going to do? I mean, I guess if we're talking competitively, he should just play one more stone out just in case it somehow comes down to tiebreakers. What
Yeah.
the for first player? I mean, we did have in my last round against Turing, first player was decided
Yeah, there it
by
is.
the second tiebreak. There we go. Good games.
Yep. Python really came back from out of the hat on that one.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that with the way that the tiebreakers work, it was game over from about halfway through. But it was a
Yeah.
good, it was interesting couple of games there.
Indeed, indeed. Well, I'm gonna go
And
ahead
as
and definitely probably cut the stream real quick, and I'll be right back.
cool, see ya.